Local temperatures holding on as the weather alert day takes effect going all the way through Wednesday night. We have these cold temperatures and of course the highs also to be just around zero today. More about this in a moment.
And as the cold grips our area, how La Crosse is working to keep everyone warm ahead. And what La Crosse voters need to know ahead of tomorrow's primary election.
This is News 8 Now this morning.
Good morning, I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Monday, February 17th, a bitter cold Monday. The roads are decent, though. The crews have been out and about all weekend, so that's the silver lining.
Fantastic job.
Yeah.
You're 100% right on that, Alexandra. But of course, we also have the breezy conditions today. Wind gusts getting up to 30 miles per hour. So if you're going to be out and about, maybe even going to take the bus, you're going to have to protect yourself because you're going to be having wind chills that, of course, exposed skin could, within 10 minutes to 20 minutes in some cases, could get you into frostbite material. We're also looking at here, we've got the wind chills that are coming in effect. They could be minus 33. We've got all of these alerts that are in place, so the warnings that are in place as well. This, as you can see in the blue, comes in at 9 p.m. tonight, carries over into 11 a.m. for Tuesday, where you're going to be seeing at least the possibility of minus 40 for your local temperatures getting into your wind chills in the morning. You're also going to be seeing this colder air coming out of Canada. You can see that big dry slot working right across Canada and working into areas headed right for us here locally, where the colder air continues to run through the area. We could also see a little bit of snow circling in the forecast later on, well up to the north, and then getting down to areas by Eau Claire and Ladysmith, possibly a 10% chance of that occurring. Local temperatures, you can see there, feels like minus 28 to minus 26 from Ladysmith to Eau Claire. For La Crosse, we're still at minus 20. Down to the south, we're minus 22. You'll hold on to the wind chills. We go through Sunrise. It feels like minus 27, continuing all the way down to La Crosse, where it's minus 26 degrees, where the kids getting to hold the bus. You're going to hold on by 9 o'clock, looking at least similar conditions. When I come back, we'll give you an overview of how this all takes shape. So please stick around.
Thank you, Art. And that dangerous cold means doors are opening this morning at La Crosse's Emergency Winter Weather Center. The Main Street Library will welcome anybody needing shelter starting in about 2 hours at 8 o'clock. While it is scheduled to close at noon, those hours could shift. With the cold expected all week, the center will make daily decisions, it says, about when it will open. Coast to coast, Americans are digging out from one massive winter storm while watching another bear down. Amy Kiley has those details.
Your temperatures are certainly going to drop.
An Arctic blast could bring potentially record-setting cold to the U.S. this week. Forecasters say wind chills could hit negative 50 near the Canadian border over the next couple days and below zero in parts of Texas. They predict snow and wintry rain will push east from the plains tomorrow. It could hit areas still reeling from a deadly and historic weekend storm.
It's saving as many lives as we can. It's positioning our assets, our swiftwater boat teams, not just where flooding is happening, but where we know it's coming.
Kentucky has the highest death toll from the weekend weather. Video from that state shows floods submerging homes, businesses, vehicles, and roads. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear calls the storm one of his state's most serious weather events in at least a decade. He says the deaths include at least one child. Beshear credits emergency responders with performing more than 1,000 rescues in under 24 hours.
We'll move from the rescues themselves to going door to door in the flooded areas to make sure that everyone is okay.
Virginia, West Virginia, and Tennessee also are recovering from floods, and officials report more than 200,000 power outages in Alabama, Georgia, and West Virginia from the weather. Today, the storm is moving out, leaving behind inches or even feet of snow in the northeast and parts of Canada.
You can track weather on your block by downloading the First Warn Weather app. You can find that in the app or Google Play stores. New this morning, Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin wants to cap what you pay for prescription costs. She just introduced a new bill that would limit annual out-of-pocket costs to $2,000 for individuals and $4,000 for families with private insurance. Baldwin says Wisconsin families shouldn't have to choose between buying medications and making ends meet. The bill builds on last year's caps for seniors on Medicare, expanding those protections to more than 170 million Americans with private insurance. And a $500 million prison reform plan from Governor Evers would reshape Wisconsin's correctional system. That proposal would close Green Bay's prison and turn Waupun facilities into a job training center for inmates. The governor says these changes will help fix the state's overcrowded and understaffed prisons. Today, thousands of federal workers are without a job, while thousands more are worried they could be next. The Trump administration continues to move full steam ahead with efforts to shrink the federal workforce and reduce spending. Some of the workers were hit hard by the cuts include military veterans, which make up roughly 30% of the federal workforce. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
Nearly a month back in office, President Donald Trump with a victory lap at Sunday's Daytona 500.
Our country is doing well again.
Praise from some in the sold-out crowd as the president and ally Elon Musk continue full throttle in reshaping the federal government.
I think he's doing good things. It's just going to take time.
But steep cuts in the federal workforce are leaving thousands of employees on edge. At least 1,300 people have been laid off at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. More than 1,000 employees cut from the Department of Veterans Affairs. And thousands of probationary workers across multiple departments received termination notices last week. Among them, Chelsea Milburn, a Navy veteran based in Nevada, fired from the Department of Education.
Government reform can be a good thing, but it's not good to take broad sweeping actions that don't take into account people's lives, their performance, or, their service to this country.
California-based former IRS worker Jordan Solis was one of nearly 70,000 to take a voluntary buyout with the promise of full pay and benefits through September.
To treat employees like this and to say, hey, either take this offer now or, potentially get laid off later, that was very disrespectful to most of the federal workforce.
Those job cuts now being challenged in the courts, part of at least 70 lawsuits the Trump administration is already facing.
Secretary Rubio meets with Saudi leaders today following talks with Netanyahu and Israel. It comes as President Trump discusses a possible trip to broker Russia-Ukraine peace talks with President Putin without President Zelensky. And with the spring election less than 2 months away, La Crosse Democrats heard from Supreme Court candidate Judge Susan Crawford over the weekend. Crawford laying out her case for Wisconsin's highest court, emphasizing how the April election will impact state residents.
This election is coming up pretty quick. On April 1st. That is a little over 6 weeks away now. And the stakes of this election really could not be higher. This is going to affect the future of our state, the future for all of our kids and grandkids, and it's also going to affect all of our personal rights.
Spring election is April 1st. The Supreme Court vote won't appear on tomorrow's primary because there are just 2 candidates. You can hear more about what you need to know about tomorrow's primary, including what is on the ballot, coming up in about 20 minutes when we are joined live by the League of Women Voters. And State Superintendent candidate Brittany Kinser making her pitch to La Crosse Republicans. She's challenging incumbent Jill Underly and Jeff Wright in the race to lead Wisconsin schools. Voters will make their choice on tomorrow's ballot.
So I want to make sure that we continue to have our high standards that Governor Evers put into place when he was superintendent, restore those high standards and ensure that our teachers have training and support they need to make sure our children are getting the phonics so they can read, write, and do math well.
Following tomorrow's primary, 2 of the 3 candidates will advance to the general election in April. And Bangor schools have a new leader this morning. Brian Wopat taking over as middle and high school principal this fall. He says he's ready to continue the district's tradition of excellence and Cardinal pride. The time now is 6:07. Still ahead on your morning news. Nissan and Honda scrapping merger talks. Southwest launches red-eye flights, and U.S. retail spending takes a plunge. And Trump's 25% tariffs on aluminum are having a costly effect on breweries. Coming up, more on the impact for consumers. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the adorable in your morning. Tennessee's Nashville Zoo introducing its newest resident, a fluffy 7-week-old Scottish Highland calf named Hamish. The zoo wrote on social media Hamish had some, quote, serious zoomies on his first day in his enclosure. Wow, yeah, he's going pretty fast. And as you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a quick wake-up call with the city that invented the Bloody Mary and toilet paper. That is New York City. Stay with us. Your consumer news is coming right up.
Chart your career with a fabricator position at Chart Industries. Starting wage up to $30 per hour with no experience necessary. Excellent pay and awesome benefits. Apply now at jobs.chartindustries.com.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
Get $3,000 total cash allowance on this 2025 Silverado. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $5,000 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Visit HometownChevy.com.
Bad feet? Bad back? Get Good Feet with a personalized arch support system from the Good Feet store. Clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good feet, good hugs. Good feet, good days. Good feet, good life. The Good Feet store. Book your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The fact that Brad Schimmel supports the 1849 law terrifies me. When I was pregnant, I had complications, but because of the ban, doctors couldn't help me. Brad Schimmel has no idea what it's like to lay in a hospital bed, pregnant and dying. The 1849 law that Brad Schimmel supports almost killed me. Brad Schimmel is too extreme for the Supreme Court.
Hello, I'm Christy Halenka, Reading Program Chair at Viterbo University. Viterbo is proud to serve our area communities by providing programs that produce quality educators and leadership in our schools. Viterbo University is once again partnering with News 8 to recognize outstanding classroom teachers in the area. We look forward to working with generations of teachers and change agents for years to come. Do you know a top-notch teacher? Then go online to news8000.com or write to this address.
Get solar and get saving with Olson Solar Energy.
The biggest thing I want to get across to people, whether it's via email or voicemail or text, is we are a local Wisconsin family-owned turnkey solar company.
We have project managers that will walk you through the process, keep you informed along the way, and make sure that the communication is the best that it can be.
All the financial benefits are awesome. And then on top of that, it's green energy. How can you lose?
Chart your career with a fabricator position at Chart Industries. Starting wage up to $30 per hour with no experience necessary. Excellent pay and awesome benefits. Apply now at jobs.chartindustries.com.
Get into your local weather here. We're going to go into the wind chills. You can see continuing on here. These wind chills right now are holding on to our local temperatures. You're going to be seeing -9 to -8 as you get into Eau Claire and Ladysmith there. You're also going to see down to the south here as we get into -6 for La Crosse, -7 for Viroqua, -4 for Prairie du Chien, and -2 in Boscobel. We've got the cold temperatures. This is what it feels like out there. -27 for Ladysmith, -26 for Eau Claire. You're extending down to Winona, -16, -30 over in Preston, Rochester, -31. Man, it is cold out there. -23 as you get down to Viroqua, -20 for La Crosse. That's what's happening right now. We carry over to Sunrise, not much change going on there. Maybe drops down another degree or two going into the opposite direction, and that continues on. We're also looking at, as we go into at least the 11 o'clock or 8 o'clock hour, you're going to be seeing temperatures continue to fall. By 10 o'clock, we're still holding on to La Crosse at -26 as well as Ladysmith. Eau Claire is colder. We'll go into the noon hour and then continue on all the way to 3 o'clock. When it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon for our high, we're looking at -20 for Ladysmith, -23 for Eau Claire, -20 for La Crosse. Everybody else, -24 degrees, mostly in the 20s that are in the minus or below 0 degree temperatures as we finish out all the way in the 5 o'clock hour, continuing on to 11 o'clock. By Tuesday morning, getting into the sunrise time, you're looking at -32 for Ladysmith, -30 for Eau Claire. This is dangerously cold. -34 for Viroqua, and of course La Crosse at -26 degrees. That being said, take a look what's going on. We've got the snow potential coming coming back again, and it's a low risk right now. You can see it's well below us, but we could see some of this coming back in our area as we finish out. Drive time, those, we go right into the time slots here. You can see getting pretty cold still, holding on with sunshine in the forecast for us. We get into the kids going to school today. You're looking at -9 for La Crosse off to school at 7 o'clock, -26 for the wind chill, 0 degrees. You get into the 3 o'clock time slot, -17 as you finish out when the kids are getting picked up at the day. That's a look at your forecast. Back to you, Alexandra.
In your consumer news, Nissan and Honda will not merge after all. The Japanese automaker is calling off their talks after they announced in December they were beginning to discuss a possible deal. The reason was both wanted to strengthen their positions in electric vehicles against Chinese competitors. Nissan said it'll collaborate with Honda in a strategic partnership instead. Southwest Airlines is taking off overnight. Its first red-eye flight landed this weekend, part of 5 new overnight routes from west to east. The airline plans to expand to 33 daily red-eyes this summer, boosting cross-country and Hawaii connections. And U.S. retail spending plunged last month, falling for the first time since August. American shoppers pulled back on spending as stubborn inflation continued to bite, and harsh weather curbed economic activity. Retail sales were down 0.9% in January from the month before, way down from December's upwardly revised 0.7% gain, and well below economists' expectations. Many Americans are already feeling the impact of inflation on their grocery bills, and now the Trump administration's 25% blanket tariffs on aluminum and steel imports are expected to have an effect on businesses like craft breweries. Brian Johnson has more on the impact on consumers.
KC Beer Company launched in 2014.
We go through over 1 million cans a year.
They specialize in quality, traditional German-style beers.
I'm not really excited about the potential tariffs that could increase costs again.
Founder Steve Hawley says during COVID, tariffs and supply chain issues shifted prices dramatically. That changed some consumer habits. Companies thrive on predictability, so new tariffs raise alarms.
Oh my gosh, another thing impacting craft beer. It's been a tough 5 years with COVID.
He says their 12-ounce cans are made from all-American aluminum, but the 19.2-ounce cans have some foreign metal.
Oh, it's hard to tell what the impact is going to be. I'm sure if other people are paying more for aluminum, it's going to drive the price up.
Higher demand for U.S. aluminum means higher prices. Right now, he believes, worst-case scenario, a 24-pack of beer might cost $1.50 more than before.
That's probably not going to happen, but it's likely, I guess, that there's going to be a price increase.
He says $1.50 may or may not sound like a lot, but it could impact sales. Bottom line, he hopes people choose quality.
Life is too short to drink cheap beer. That's all I want to say. You deserve one moment of relaxation after a hard day of work.
That was a look at your consumer news. We'll send it over now to Art. He's got a look at our forecast.
Okay, as we get into it here, we're going to close this out and get back to it here where you're seeing this wind chill is going to be a major issue today. Let's get out of that real quick and show you this. We're going to hold on to the possibility of these wind chills dropping down to -35 degrees today. We'll also see this carry over to 0 degrees in the afternoon for your highs today or less. In fact, some locations, coldest you're going to see over in southeast Minnesota. That being said, we've got this bitter cold today. Coldest tomorrow morning, though. Then we go back again, similar to what we had today. We're looking at dangerously cold wind chills. This colder air continues to funnel in from Canada, but we're also having snow working back in, coming in from the upper portions of the country there. As you can see from Washington and Portland all the way into Oregon, you can see that continue to track across the area, getting down as far as Denver. This is going to bring some more snow possibilities here locally. We have a little bit up to the north already circling around there today, where we're going to see possibly a 20% chance up to the north, as well as a 10% chance getting towards Ladysmith and Eau Claire for the day. As far as the roadways are concerned, they've done a great job plowing the roads. You may see some of the off streets, though, also some of the roundabout areas. You want to be particularly careful around them. Some of those may not have been taken out, so you may miss them if you're maybe distracted or something. You're also looking at the wind chill continuing on in the forecast here, holding on to the locations. You'll also be picking up, again, conditions to be colder as we finish out the day, going into the morning hours and into the afternoon, where you're seeing it is still pretty much in the minus degrees and 20s, -20 or below below. In some cases, we're seeing this continue on to the 3 o'clock hour. You've got the drive time here you're looking at here going into it. The forecast is showing you sunshine is abound, but we're still holding on to these cold, bitterly cold temperatures. Eau Claire's doing the same, -14 to about -10 to -8 to finish out as you get into the 10 o'clock hour. Highs for the day, 1 degree, possibly, or at least -1 to about maybe 2 to 4 degrees for your forecast. Partly cloudy skies will ensue eventually coming back into the forecast for you. You may even find mostly cloudy skies up to areas by Eau Claire by the time we get into 3 o'clock hour. That's due in part by snow coming in from the north. You can see it up there already continuously moving into the forecast zone, dropping down closer to Wausau and Ladysmith. As we finish out by the noon hour today, you're seeing conditions to be pretty much in single-digit numbers, holding on to the 3 o'clock hour, similar conditions, so not much change is going to result out of that. As we go into the 7 o'clock hour, still even colder with -degree temperatures, continuing on with these sub-zero temperatures right through the 11 o'clock hour and starting again as you go into midnight tonight. As we go into it here, the zones in the forecast here, you're looking at 1 degree to 2 degrees, even -1 in some locations. Taking it back down to the south zone, you're looking at 3 to 4 degrees, and then back down to -1 to -2 in some cases. We'll also hold on to the central zone where you can see La Crosse is looking at least 2 degrees for the high, Trimpalou at 0 degrees, Whitehall at -1, -2 over in Osseo, and back up to the north where you're looking at Ladysmith at 1 degree, Eau Claire holding on to -2 degrees to finish out the day. There's a look at that snow that's getting towards the north and then trying to work in a 20 to 10% chance. As we take it into the next few days, though, you're going to be seeing winter weather alerts all the way going through Wednesday. Colder conditions come in for Thursday. Friday, you're looking at cold conditions, mild, then milder conditions, and then pleasant conditions to finish out the work week going into next week. Back to you, Alexandra.
All right, Art, thank you. Well, the community came together to give kids a better night's sleep. The special project in Tomah coming up.
Coming up in sports, hear from the Wisconsin Badger head coach Greg Gard after the team got a big win over the weekend, and a look ahead to their big matchup on Tuesday. That and more coming up in the Morning Blitz.
When you've trusted your personal injury case to Bygoff and Rohde, you're going to feel the weight of the world off your shoulders. You have to concern yourself with getting to the doctor and trying to get better. We'll do everything else, and that's how we get results for our clients.
Ellie McClune is committed to lacrosse, striving for common sense leadership that addresses homelessness, promotes public safety, and supports affordable housing. With deep community roots and experience as a realtor and small business owner, Ellie understands the challenges and opportunities of our city. It's time for real change with a focus on community and responsible solutions. Make your vote count for a thriving lacrosse. Vote in the primary on February 18th. Paid for by Friends of Ellie McClune.
Attention business owners. Start 2025 confidently with Your Choice Roofing, your trusted partner for commercial roofing solutions. Our expert craftsmanship and premium materials ensure a roof that stands the test of time. Don't wait. Our schedule is filling up fast. Get ahead of the rush and secure your spot now to protect your building and your bottom line. Visit yourchoiceroofing.com today to get started.
Where there's a flooded basement, musty crawl space, or wood rot, there's an answer. American Waterworks. For more than 30 years, American Waterworks has been solving homeowners' toughest waterproofing problems. Schedule your free inspection and estimate today.
This street's like any other in Wisconsin, but the new neighbor is a pedophile who repeatedly raped a little girl, released after just 2 years in prison. Thanks to Judge Susan Crawford's sweetheart sentence, a fraction of the 60 years he faced. Now, the pedophile lives blocks from a school. And with Susan Crawford on the bench, your street could be next.
After you've been injured in an accident, life becomes chaotic. You have doctor's appointments, medical bills, insurance adjusters harassing you to settle your claim. When you call Bygoff and Rohde, we take care of it all. We get results.
Pathways was formed to solve La Crosse's homeless problem, but 2 years in, how successful has it been? Tonight at 6, a closer look at where the effort has succeeded and where they're still struggling. Tonight at 6.
Welcome to the Morning Blitz. The Wisconsin Badgers are coming off of arguably their best win of the season as they went on the road and took down number 7 Purdue over the weekend. It was a 1-point game at the break, but in the second half, Wisconsin managed to shoot 72% from the field as they slowly began building a lead and eventually went on to win 94-84. They're now 12-2 in their last 14 games. And with just 6 games to go in the regular season, they built a great resume as we look ahead to the postseason. It's a team that's tested, and even when games get tough, Coach Gard says their togetherness is what gets them through.
When we play the whole second half, no turnovers. I mean, 18 assists, 3 turnovers. In this place, I've been here when it's been the other way around, 3 and 18. And that's just to, it shows you the poise, the togetherness, the toughness of this group mentally that they feel nothing's going to faze them.
Up next for Wisconsin, back at the Kohl Center as they welcome in Illinois on Tuesday at 7:30. It'll be a tough game. Illinois had previously been ranked before a couple of slip-ups. It will be a tough task for the Badgers. The WIAA girls basketball brackets were released yesterday, so let's take a look at some of the top seeds. In Division II, West Salem got a 1 seed, and on the other side of them are the Central Riverhawks, so a potential matchup in the section semifinals. In Division III, the Prairie du Chien girls got a 3 seed, a tough road for them. They might have to face the 2 seed Platteville in the regional final. In D4, the Aquinas Blue Goals got a 2 seed, while the Bangor Cardinals are a 3 seed, another potential regional final. And in D5, Independence Gilmanton got the 1 seed, while Aliva Strum is the 2 seed. The first round of games will start on Tuesday, February 25th. How about the Daytona 500? There was about over 3 hours of a weather delay, and we had a crazy finish. On the last lap, things go haywire, cars crashing everywhere, and making it out on the other side was William Byron. From 9th to 1st, just like that. He won it last year, and now he repeats as the Daytona 500 champ. Any golf fans? The final round of the PGA Genesis Invitational, Ludwig Oberg tied at 11 under on the final hole, but he sinks the birdie putt, and with that, he wins his second PGA Tour event. Just 25 years old, and now he's taking home $4 million. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
That was funny. Yeah. That's a sick bike.
Boys.
Miss Sanderson?
See you Monday.
No way.
The fact that Brad Schimmel supports the 1849 law terrifies me. When I was pregnant, I had complications, but because of the ban, doctors couldn't help me. Brad Schimmel has no idea what it's like to lay in a hospital bed, pregnant and dying. The 1849 law that Brad Schimmel supports almost killed me. Brad Schimmel is too extreme for the Supreme Court.
Hey, I went to the new place. They didn't have everything, but the bananas were on sale.
Wait, why didn't you go to Woodman's?
Hi, we're the Woodmans. I'm Clint. I'm Phil. Other stores promote a few items but charge more for everything else. At Woodmans, you save big time money on your whole grocery bill.
I even use the app to compare prices.
Oh my gosh, talk about receipt regret. Our work here is done.
Service and savings. It's Woodman's.
A new walk-in shower, safe and convenient.
A beautiful new entry door.
A lovely pergola or patio cover.
New windows that wow.
Your dream kitchen.
New siding to transform your home from old to new.
Whatever your plans, the 27th Annual Early Bird Home Show, only at the Board Store, brings you all of these at the lowest price of the year.
Visit our 8-building showroom on Copeland Avenue in La Crosse. Visit our website.
Call 608-782-8877.
The 27th Annual Early Bird Home Show, only at the Board Store. Don't miss it.
The camper. It has been a reliable companion for your family's good times. But after years of use, it is showing some wear and tear. A broken window from an errant baseball, a couch that your dog allegedly chewed on, and an AC unit that doesn't work like it should. It's time to call Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. We have been improving your family's camper since 1970. Call us today and we will make your camper feel brand new. Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. Repair, refinish, remarkable.
Earn now, spend later during Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Blaine's Bucks event. Now through February 26th, rewards members earn $10 in Blaine's Bucks for every $100 spent in store. Redeemable just like cash, March 6th through the 19th. Start earning on Blaine's Original Cat Food, $26.99. Select AgriMaster Feed, $10.49. Rewards members save an extra buck. Blaine's Platinum Vehicle Batteries, $5 off for rewards members. Plus, try new Dots Barbecue Pretzels, $5.99. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
La Crosse's 5-year action plan to achieve functional zero homelessness is entering its 2nd year. Tonight, News 8 Now's Allison Fergit will provide a look into the project, what's going well, and what they're still working on. Allison joins us this morning for a preview of that story. Good morning, Allison.
Good morning, Alexandra.
So this is something we've been hearing a lot about. So
Yes,
give us a little update on what's going on now with Pathways.
So it's really exciting. They are entering into their 2nd year, and their goal is to achieve functional zero homelessness. For a lot of people, what does functional zero really mean? What that means is they just want to have enough beds available for people who might experience homelessness. So that's not necessarily meaning that there won't be people still sleeping out on the streets. It just means that there is an opportunity for them to seek shelter if they need it, because they really do need a lot more beds right now. So they are entering their 2nd year. They've hit some pretty exciting milestones so far. They just said that they've reached the 100th person that they've officially housed through Pathways, something they're super excited about. And then they also, in the coming months, will have 50 new housing units that will, as they say, come online, that'll be open. And those are going to be specialized housing units to really target those communities that are chronically homeless.
Okay, something our community needs for sure. What about challenges? There's got to be some challenges to a project like this.
For sure. I mean, we've saw nationwide that homelessness increased by 18%. It's an ongoing issue. So while they are able to house more people that we're seeing, they also are seeing the number of people who are homeless stay pretty steady. So what that means, or what they think that means, is more people are becoming homeless. So that's something that it's really, really a challenge for them. Another thing that they're constantly working on is building really strong partnerships. That means that they want to make sure that existing housing that they're able to utilize, so forming really good partnerships with landlords and working through them, and then also addressing the root causes of homelessness, which could be substance abuse, mental health issues, and also workforce and that sort of thing. So they are constantly working on that right now. They know that it's something that they need to continue working on, building those partnerships, building those relationships, and finding those causes to the root issues, really going from a preventative style rather than a reactionary style of care.
Okay, definitely a big issue that affects so many different facets of our community. So that's tonight at 6.
Yes.
Okay, Allison, we'll be watching for that. Thank you. Turning now to some medical news, a new plan to fight bird flu heads to President Trump this week. His economic and agriculture chiefs will propose shifting away from killing infected birds, focusing instead on medication and better biosecurity. The change comes as the virus spreads beyond poultry and becomes harder to control. For many, tattoos are a form of creative expression, but they're also something people can regret sometimes. CBS's Danya Bacchus shows us how one program is helping people remove those bad decisions.
With a quick and steady zapping sound, Dr. Robert Reese is performing what his patients call a life-changing procedure, one that Reina Alexandra Garcia says has given her a second chance.
A lot of doors have been opening. It feels very amazing.
For years, Reina had a clown face tattoo and other ink on her face and neck.
I used to get tattoos when I was going through so much pain.
The reminders of that pain are slowly fading thanks to tattoo removal services through Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles, a program dedicated to rehabilitation of former gang members. Dr. Reese is a UCLA health physician and volunteer.
Our mission here is to remove things that would prevent you from getting a job. Clearly, tattoos on your face would do.
He says the laser breaks down permanent ink particles into smaller particles so the immune system can safely remove them from the body.
We take 10, 12 treatments. It depends a lot on the density of the ink. Also depends on the color of the ink. Certain colors are more difficult. We have a cooling machine that helps decrease the pain because it produces a lot of heat.
Tattoo removal usually costs thousands of dollars, but it's done here at Homeboy Industries for free. And while it's a long and painful process, the clients say it's worth it.
I feel like as it's coming off, I'm healing.
Desiree Marufo has been going to Dr. Reese for 2.5 years to remove the tattoos of her abuser.
He put his face, he put his name, any kind of marks that he could leave besides the beatings.
Marks now part of her past, allowing her and others to make room for their future.
Homeboy Industries was started in 1988. Its tattoo removal is the most popular and critical service for the program's participants. And new this morning, Monroe County kids in need are getting a better night's rest thanks to some weekend volunteers. At the fairgrounds in Tomah, Sleep in Heavenly Peace brought helpers from 8 to 80 years old to build 40 beds. Each child aged 3 to 17 will get the full setup, mattress, bedding, and handmade quilts donated by local churches and community members. That organization, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, has now donated more than 100 beds to Monroe County kids in need. 100 high schools throughout the state competing in the Wisconsin State High School Fishing Tournament over the weekend. 1,200 participants hit the Mississippi for some competitive ice fishing.
Every year we try to host one big tournament for our whole organization, and this one was the culmination of everything where kids qualified. We had 87 teams, 1,056 people had RSVP'd to be here today, so we can all come fish lacrosse. We've got, every team is a different school in the state, and we're excited as heck to be here, and we don't care if we win half the time, we just want to have fun going fishing.
The tournament was canceled 4 years in a row due to COVID and unsafe ice. Music with a Mission at La Crosse's Capella Center. Winona State professor Liz Pierce performed her Animal Songs program Sunday to help local rescue pets. She's using a special grant to tour and raise money for shelters, with all proceeds from this show going to the Cooley Region Humane Society.
Adopting a shelter pet means that you're giving an animal a second chance at life, and you're making your life better by bringing this into your family. The people who do that work are comically underpaid and underfunded, and they deserve all of the resources they can get.
The Animal Songs project was originally created to give herself a break from traditional songs. Young scientists put curiosity to work at the Children's Museum of La Crosse this weekend. The Chemistry Club let kids explore the mysteries behind chemical reactions. A UW La Crosse volunteer says these hands-on experiments help build critical thinking skills.
We're just trying to expose children to science, spread our love and joy for science. We're all chemistry, biochemistry majors, so we're trying to get them started as young as possible. And it's always fun seeing the kids' joy when they make something new for the first time.
The class's events and programming are free with a museum membership and admission. Now we'll send it over to News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett. He's got a look at our Monday morning commute.
Okay, as you already know, we have a bit of a wind chill out there that continues out, and it is dangerously cold, in fact, bitterly cold in some locations as we finish out the morning hours. This will go all the way through a Wednesday night as we continue on. Tuesday should be the coldest of our early morning hours. We're also looking at the wind chill here. This is getting as minus 35. This is for our weather advisory here, continuing through the forecast. We can see this continuing all the way across the region right now. Then later on tonight, we're looking at this coming in about 9 p.m. tonight and carry over all through Tuesday. You're also looking at this to continue on for at least minus 40 degrees for our local temperatures. In fact, we could see minus 40 today as well. Holding on to current temperatures, we're looking at least single digits to at least up to 13, minus 13 degrees or down to minus 13 degrees. And you can see here all the way up to Ladysmith at minus 11, minus 8 for Eau Claire. La Crosse is at minus 6. It feels like minus 20 in La Crosse, minus 26 in Eau Claire, minus 27 in Ladysmith. These are going to be some very cold conditions as we go through the morning hours. Minus 31 by 7 o'clock. You can see minus 34 for Eau Claire, holding on to at least minus 26 as you get into Lansing. La Crosse holding on to minus 27 degrees. This will continue on as we go right through the afternoon and into at least the high for the days. You can see still holding on to 20s, below 20 degrees in some locations. This will also show as we finish out the day that we're looking at conditions to be colder even tomorrow. So this will even seem more ridiculous than it does right now. Back to you.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, Kane is turning 8 years old today. He loves to play video games and play sports, spend time with his friends, family, and cat scrambles.
And Maddie is also turning 8. She likes downhill skiing and loves dogs and her chickens.
How about Riley is turning 8? He loves riding in fast cars, playing with Legos, video games, and rocking out on the drums.
If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Coming up, the League of Women Voters joins us live for a Mindful Monday interview with your primary election preview.
Right now at Home Sleep Express, spend $6.99 and get a free Stanley tumbler and up to $200 in MasterCard rewards cards on quality mattress brands Luxuria and Thomas Cole Sleep. The President's Day mattress sale going on now at Home Sleep Express.
Ellie McClune is committed to lacrosse, striving for common sense leadership that addresses homelessness, promotes public safety, and supports affordable housing. With deep community roots and experience as a realtor and small business owner, Ellie understands the challenges and opportunities of our city. It's time for real change with a focus on community and responsible solutions. Make your vote count for a thriving lacrosse. Vote in the primary on February 18th. Paid for by Friends of Ellie McClune.
Attention business owners. Start 2025 confidently with Your Choice Roofing, your trusted partner for commercial roofing solutions. Our expert craftsmanship and premium materials ensure a roof that stands the test of time. Don't wait. Our schedule is filling up fast. Get ahead of the rush and secure your spot now to protect your building and your bottom line. Visit yourchoiceroofing.com today to get started.
Attention! If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 715-469-6907. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 715-469-6907. Again, that's 715-469-6907.
This street's like any other in Wisconsin, but the new neighbor is a pedophile who repeatedly raped a little girl, released after just 2 years in prison. Thanks to Judge Susan Crawford's sweetheart sentence, a fraction of the 60 years he faced. Now, the pedophile lives blocks from a school. And with Susan Crawford on the bench, your street could be next.
It's the President's Day sale at Home Sleep Express. Get up to $500 off select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets with free delivery and setup and a $300 shopping card. Plus, pay no interest for 5 years. The Tempur-Pedic President's Day sale at Home Sleep Express.
All right, as we go into the next few days, we're going to be holding on to these dangerously cold conditions. In fact, these wind chills will be down to minus 35, possibly today, getting into a little bit on the colder side tomorrow, where we're looking at least minus 40, possibly in the early morning hours, as the wind chill lingers into the morning and then eventually dissipates. Let's get into it, how this all plays out. Colder air coming in from Canada. We've also had some snow working out of the Intermountain West, continuing to work through our area coming off the Pacific. This will also start to circulate up to the north here, where we'll see a little bit of a 20% chance to a 10% chance getting towards Ladysmith and Eau Claire. Drive time looks pretty good. The wind chill out there is just the only issue, really. Slick spots, they did a great job with most of the roads, with the exception of the off-road streets, so please be careful about that. That's where you're going to find the snowy roadways. The wind chill continues on through the 7 o'clock hour. This will also slide right into the 8 o'clock hour, going into finishing out the morning hours. As you can see, by the time we get into the noon hour, we're still below minus 20 degrees in some locations, so it's still going to be a cold weather advisory that's going to linger now until at least we get into the evening hours for tonight. That being said, we'll take a look here at the 3 o'clock hour. We're still below 20 degrees in some locations, so please be careful for this day. It's going to be dangerously cold. We'll also hold on to sunshine back in the forecast for you, though, still with the cold conditions, so you really can't enjoy it too much without being too well bundled up. You'll also see Eau Claire following suit as well, with sunshine getting into mostly sunny skies to finish out your day instead of mostly cloudy for now. Eventually later on in the day, they'll get to mostly cloudy skies. Holding on to the highs today, -1 to at least 2 degrees, maybe even 4 over by Boscoville if they hold out. You'll also get into the forecast temperatures as we go through the morning hours. By sunrise, you're looking at -11 to at least about 4 degrees in some locations, -5 possibly as you get down to Prairie du Chien. You'll hold on to, again, for the late morning hours, you can see single-digit numbers continue to hold right through the forecast area, even to our highs for the day, as you can see, from at least -3 to about, say, 4 degrees for your highs. We'll also continue this going through your drive time and finishing out the evening commute, going all the way into the 11 o'clock hour, and then by the midnight hour, we're still in the cold. As you can see, the zone still looking at this pretty much. No one is showing snow, but we're also showing the cold. That's going to stick around through the daytime from the south zone all the way to the central zone, and then back up to the north zone as well. Blair, 0 degrees. La Crosse, possibly 2 degrees, and over in Trempealeau now about 0 degrees. Back up to the north, we're looking at Eau Claire at -2, and then finishing out looking at Ladysmith at 2 degrees. We'll carry over into possibility of snow well up to the north, as I mentioned before. What we'll get out of that, as you can see, the possibility of, well, it's maybe just a dusting or so, if that at all. Then we finish out going into your forecast, looking at the possibility of colder conditions to finish out the better part of your day. Going into it here, as we take a look here, you're going to be seeing slowly but surely 2 degrees today for your high or less, 6 degrees for tomorrow as the weather alert day continues, 7 for Wednesday, and then by the time we get into Thursday, Friday, going into the weekend, you're looking at mild conditions, or at least cold to mild conditions back in your forecast. Pleasant as we get into next week on Monday.
Tomorrow, La Crosse voters head to the polls for the spring primary, and on this Mindful Monday, the League of Women Voters, Jane Powell, joins us with everything you need to know before you head to the ballot. Good morning, Jane. Nice to see you again.
Good morning. Thank you.
So, yeah, happy to see you. So just let us know, what can we expect to see on the ballot tomorrow?
Everything is on one side of the page.
Okay.
There's, in La Crosse, there's 3 to 4 races depending on where you live, but everyone in the state will have a state school superintendent primary. And then in La Crosse, we also have our important mayoral primary, and then the school board of the La Crosse district. In District 7 of La Crosse, there's 3 candidates, so there is a primary to narrow that down to 2 candidates.
Okay, but that's just in that one district there.
Right.
Okay.
But for in a wider region, if you need to find out what's on your ballot, just go to myvote.gov, and you will find
Yeah, that's very helpful for sure. Yeah,
Right.
and you can even click through them, right? You can do like a real test. So yeah, very helpful for sure.
Right.
I love my polling place, but some folks may not remember where their polling place is. So where do you find out where you register, and where do you find your polling place?
Well, that again is on the myvote.gov website. But if you're not don't use computers, just call your city clerk.
Okay.
And you'll be able to find your polling place. But if you do have an address change or a name change, you do need to re-register. You can do that in person on Tuesday at the polls.
Okay.
The online registration is closed at this time.
Okay, but you can still do that. And then if you voted in the November general election, you are registered, right? So no need to worry.
As long as you haven't made changes to your address or name. And if you've lived if you've moved within 28 days, it's the 28-day rule as far as where you live is where you vote.
Okay.
If it's been less than 28 days, you can go back and vote in your previous site.
Okay, all right, good to know there. And then a note that we need to mention that for the La Crosse School Board, candidate Sam Morris, we know that he has recently dropped out, but he will still be on the ballot, right? So important note there so that people don't get confused.
Yes, he has put out the notice that he's dropped out of the race, but his name will be on the ballot. But voters need to know that.
Okay, yeah, so don't vote there, don't get confused there. And then so we know that every vote matters in local elections, but turnout is historically low in primaries. So what would you say to someone, wondering if they should vote, maybe they don't want to head out in the cold? What would you say to encourage them to get out there?
I think the biggest reason is people think that they haven't found out enough information about the candidates. And we've tried to make that simple. On our website, lwvlacrosse.org, if you go to our website, we've consolidated all the information about all all the local candidates. We've had great turnout with the candidates. They've all pretty much all signed up for the Vote 411 voter guide so that you can see what's on your ballot and read about the candidates. We also have the mayor debate that WISM did. It was a 1 hour at UW-Well. That's on our website. We also have 4 20-minute interviews individually with the mayoral candidates so you can learn about them. There's some news articles about the state school superintendents. So we've really consolidated. If you go to our lwv.org website, you'll be able to spend, however much time you have, but you'll be able to find a lot of resources about all the candidates so you feel prepared to vote.
Okay, good. Yeah, there is still some time to do some research, so good to have those resources there for sure. And then looking ahead to April, that is when the Supreme Court election will be back on the ballots there. What do voters need to know about that election and why that is so important?
Judge Bradley is retiring, and so that leaves an opening. And so there is many important issues that come to our state courts now because the federal court has kind of kicked back some of the issues to the local states to be decided, such as reproductive rights, voting rights, and so the state Supreme Courts become more and more important. And so any person who gets onto the Supreme Court has an important job, and it's a 10-year term. Yeah. So they are going to be making decisions for the state for a long time. So it is important for people to get to know the candidates, know what issues are important to you, and then look at candidates that align with your values and make informed decisions.
All right, and then for the Supreme Court, we won't have to worry about that one for tomorrow. Got a couple more weeks for that.
Right.
Should do a little more research, so that's great. All right, Jane, well, thank you so much for being here this morning with us.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
We've done many, many renovations. We bought an old house and have made it into an up-to-date house. Whenever anything involves plumbing, the first call I make is to Maxwell White. Their technicians put together a great final product.
Don't settle with the insurance company until you've talked with Schwebel, Getz & Sieben.
I felt so special. I felt that I was going to be their #1 client.
I just got a great peace of mind knowing that I wasn't a case number, that we're doing this together.
We really did feel like we had a team behind us.
I was really impressed with how they treated us. They were backing us up 100%.
They always have your best interest in mind.
Go to Schwebel.com and fill out a free online case evaluation. There is no fee unless we win.
Dreaming of a career but worried about time and cost? At CVTC, we make it easy. With low tuition costs and a wide variety of programs to choose from, we'll get you job ready in just 1 to 2 years. You'll graduate with minimal debt and find a career you love with competitive starting salaries. Dive into your future today with affordable, fast, and rewarding programs at CVTC. Visit cvtc.edu to learn more.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Get over $2,700 purchase cash on 2025 Sierra 1500 models.
Visit your best choice GMC dealer today.
The fact that Brad Schimmel supports the 1849 law terrifies me. When I was pregnant, I had complications, but because of the ban, doctors couldn't help me. Brad Schimmel has no idea what it's like to lay in a hospital bed, pregnant and dying. The 1849 law that Brad Schimmel supports almost killed me. Brad Schimmel is too extreme for the Supreme Court.
With a tankless system, you can have unlimited hot water whenever and for however long you need it. Upgrade to a tankless today and never be left without hot water again. Rely on Maxwell White, plumbing done right.
Pathways was formed to solve La Crosse's homeless problem, but 2 years in, how successful has it been? Tonight at 6, a closer look at where the effort has succeeded and where they're still struggling. Tonight at 6.
This February.
It's your birthday. I'm going to be 50. 1975. I feel lucky to be here now and to be in it with other people.
Celebrate Drew February 21st. Weekdays at 3 on News 8. News 8 Now, Sports.
Welcome back. It's 6:52. Time for your morning news now. We begin with some breaking news. First responders are on scene of a house fire in Hillsborough. This is at 646 Shear Avenue. When the initial reports came in, we do know that 2 people were inside of the home. It started around 5 o'clock this morning. Crews have been on scene since then. You can still see some smoke billowing here, as well as several fire trucks and emergency crews still on scene. Our crew did arrive on scene momentarily ago. You see a firefighter here going up on the roof right now. So they are still working to gather the latest details. We will update you on our website, news8000.com, and News 8 Now at noon with the latest. And the Sparta man accused of shooting an elderly relative and fleeing with his children on New Year's Eve will face a judge today. 47-year-old Ryan Goad is charged with attempted first-degree homicide for allegedly shooting 80-year-old Robert Goad in the head and shoulder in Toma. He's being held on a $400,000 cash bond. He'll appear in court at 1 p.m. A new plan to fight bird flu heads to President Trump this week. His economic and agriculture chiefs will propose shifting away from killing infected birds, focusing instead on medication and better biosecurity. The change comes as the virus spreads beyond poultry and is becoming harder to control. This week, more U.S. federal workers are expected to get pink slips as thousands of employees across at least 20 agencies are being let go and moved to cut costs. Behind the effort is the White House Department of Government Efficiency, led by Elon Musk. New this morning, Senator Baldwin wants to cap your prescription costs. Her new bill would limit yearly out-of-pocket costs to $2,000 per person, $4,000 for families with private insurance. The plan would extend Medicare-style drug cost protections to more than 170 million Americans. With the spring election less than 2 months away, La Crosse Democrats heard from Supreme Court candidate Judge Susan Crawford. At Saturday's meeting, Crawford laid out her case for Wisconsin's highest court, emphasizing how the April election will impact state residents.
This election is coming up pretty quick on April 1st. That is a little over 6 weeks away now. And the stakes of this election really could not be higher. This is going to affect the future of our state, the future for all of our kids and grandkids, and it's also going to affect all of our personal rights.
The Supreme Court race won't be on tomorrow's ballot. It will be on the April 1st ballot. And State Superintendent candidate Brittany Kinzer made her pitch to La Crosse Republicans. She's challenging incumbent Jill Underly and Jeff Wright in the race to lead Wisconsin schools.
So I want to make sure that we continue to have our high standards that Governor Evers put into place when he was superintendent, restore those high standards and ensure that our teachers have training and support they need to make sure our children are getting the phonics so they can read, write, and do math well.
Following tomorrow's primary, 2 of the 3 will advance to the April election. Dangerous cold means doors are opening this morning at La Crosse's Emergency Winter Weather Center. The Main Street Library will welcome anyone needing shelter starting in about an hour at 8 a.m. It is scheduled to close at noon, but those hours could shift. With the cold expected all week, the center says it'll make daily decisions about opening its doors.
Yes, please don't let your guard down with this alert day. This is serious stuff with this colder air. We're going to see a high of maybe 2 degrees possible for La Crosse, or at least near 0 degrees. We'll get into tomorrow where it's going to be much colder, even though our temperatures are warming up for our highs at 6 degrees, going into 7 degrees for Wednesday. Then we find ourselves getting into cold conditions back again Thursday going into Friday, and then warming it up as we go through the weekend and beyond.
Sea turtles have a hidden superpower. They navigate by memory and magnetism. A new study shows that loggerheads memorize Earth's magnetic fields to find food after long migrations. Scientists caught young turtles doing a special dance when they sensed magnetic signals marking past feeding spots. They're very in tune with the Earth, aren't they?
It's like me, can we go to McDonald's, Dad? Come on,
yeah,
you go across
doing
country.
a special dance too, probably, right?
Probably.
Just like us, turtles. Well, thank you for starting your week with us on News 8 Now this morning. We'll see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your day and try to stay warm.